All right, everyone. Welcome to a live and streaming Saturday, June 4th. How's everyone doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm going to bring a special guest in. Now, on previous shows, I had Sean Killian and Phil Demmel from Vio-lence. This time, I got drummer extraordinaire Perry Strickland from Vio-lence. Let's bring him in. Hi, Perry. Here we are. We are alive and streaming. How are you, Perry?
Doing fantastic. How are you, brother?
I'm doing good, dude. Thanks for jumping on the stream, man. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Dude, we talked a little earlier before the stream. I had Sean on. Sean was my second guest on this whole show. I had Phil on. Great stories. I go way back with them. You know what I mean? I don't go way back with you. You know, we kind of met later on in the day.
A little bit later, but you know, I do you remember, the last dinner I had with my mom before she passed away? Do you remember that? Do you remember? You remember we were at a restaurant and you came walking in. You were with your family, and remember I had to apologize because I was like, Dad, I was so, my mom was, I was in a mental state. I was like, oh, this is my friend. I couldn't even remember your name because I was just like, oh, no. And you were really cool about it. And then later on I brought her over and I was like, yeah, this is Dad, because it all clicked in my being,
Wait a minute. Were you living in Hayward at the time?
My mom was.
Okay, that was at, I'll tell you that restaurant. It was Cafe Vasiliki, which I used to frequent a lot because I loved the sandwich.
It was one of my mom's favorites. So
really, it's not there no more, man. It's Black Bear Diner. I'm not a big fan of Black Bear Diner, bro.
No, but it had a lot of. I think the older crowd really loved that place.
Exactly.
And my mom loved it. So wherever she wanted, that's what she got.
I'm there too. Now, Perry. Yeah, that's probably the lot. We met that later on, but I'll tell you, I mean, I've seen Vio-lence back in the day. I could tell you my first Vio-lence experience was when you guys supported Death Angel at the Stone when they did that Voracious Souls video shoot, and you guys just had a demo 86.
Wow.
And I believe that's when Dean had a broken leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Or twisted his knee.
Or twisted his knee, whatever. He was in the cast. You know what I mean? But I was at that show. That was my first Vio-lence experience, and been a fan since, bro.
Nice.
Been a fan since.
God, I was always a Death Angel fan from a long time ago. How could you not be? If you were in the scene, how could you not be a fan of just about everybody in the scene? How could you just not?
You know what? I was talking to people on tour about that. What was good about that time in the Bay Area scenes, we all played thrash, but everyone had their own style of thrash.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You know what I called your style, Vio-lence? Eternal Nightmare?
Slop?
Nope. Serial killer metal. You guys were just. It was insane. Eternal Nightmare is insane. You know what I mean? I thought it probably saved my life in a lot of ways, because that it gave me an outlet for all that frustration and aggression, and like my little brother was followed in my footsteps, except he didn't have an out. So he didn't make it. He's no longer here, all that. But, music has been a love-hate relationship, and it's had its ups and downs. But at the end of the day, I think if you're happy and you can look back at your time spent and feel blessed and just be surrounded by great friends, and like all of us, like even you and I, just seeing everybody and saying, hey, how the hell you doing? And how's it going? And just talking about things. And that's when you really feel rich. That's when your life is rich and things are good. I agree. But, when you look back at it now, you guys were younger then. See, I was in the scene more in the crowd as a fan, stage diving and, enjoying all that stuff while you guys were on stage and whatnot. But when you guys were younger then, there was always this, I've noticed with the bands, this competition of I hate you guys. I'm going to be better than you guys. There was always some fighting. Come on, you have to admit.
There was a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like, hey, buddy, how you doing? Oh, man, we're going to smash you later, But, that you should have that. If you don't have that, how are you going to get very far?
That's
You know,
really
you have to have that drive, but you know, when you're young and immature, it's a lot harder to put that in its box. You know, now it's not so much, oh man, I'm going to smash you. It's more like, I'm going to just do the best I can possibly do. And I'm going to leave it like that, right? I'm just going to put my best on the table and hope for the best.
Dude, exactly. We have that thing when we, you know, when we tour with Exodus and Testament, we're like, dude, we got to give it our all because we got Exodus coming right behind us. And, you know, it's just one of those friendly competition type deals. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
it's a whole nother level. You're at another level, man. You got to bring your A game. You know, we're, you know, Phil is a triple OG, you know, and the rest of us, you know, so's Christian, and the rest of us are, you know, especially myself, you know, I struggle a lot to get myself into any type of close to that level at all, you know, and still to this day, it's work in progress, you know, and I'm lucky, you know, that no matter Phil and I's relationship or whatever, you know, Phil is always been there for me and always put the time in. And it's been a lot of time. I mean, my learning curve is like almost a U-turn. Shit, it's barely a turn. And he's, you know, I'm lucky to have someone like that to just to put the time in and bring me up to where I am.
Dude, and I do want to talk about that, but first I do want to talk about mentioned before, Eternal Nightmare. Love that record. When Oppressing the Masses came out, dude, I mean, I love that record, but it was a bit of a change to me. Like, it wasn't as fast and furious as Eternal Nightmare. Now, was that a conscious decision, or was that something Rob influenced coming in? Because Rob did have some, you know, writing influence on that one.
You know, I really don't know about all that. You know, I think you write music, you obviously, everybody wants you to write the same album but different. And as an artist, I think you know, for one, your second record, you've got much better equipment, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you know, Sean's singing through an actual PA, not some blown speakers and yelling at the top of his lungs, you know.
None of those Radio Shack speakers.
Right. You know, I had a real drum set. You know, everybody had guitars, strings, nice Marshalls. You know, I think, you know, when you begin, you could just be raw and it's all aggression. And then when you get the ability to obtain some quality instruments, and you start messing with tone and levels, and you start going into that direction, right? And I think that just has a natural progression amongst itself. And, you know, I personally like Oppressing the Masses better than Eternal Nightmare.
Me too. I mean, I like them both, but I lean toward.
I get what you're saying. I mean, they're two different records.
Yeah.
You know, one is very, very aggressive. The other one is more aggressive and melodic. And well, it just, for us, you know, and violence. And I see growth. You know, if I listen to all three records from that time period, I mean, you could hear it move. You know, you can hear that learning curve, you know, Eternal, Oppressing, and Nothing to Gain. Nothing to Gain, we just didn't produce well, and it didn't come out well.
I do like Nothing to Gain. I mean, I could see it from your perspective as a band. I mean, you mentioned here on this DVD with the Blood and Dirt, the Vio-lence one, like it like you weren't getting along with Michael Rosen.
I don't even want to say his name.
Okay. But, you know, it was
you can't.
Okay. Don't. But I mean, with Oppressing, it was a better production. Yeah. With Nothing to Gain, it was a bit, I could say, like, sounds more like a demo, but I like the songs on it, you know, like Atrocity, 12 Gauge Justice, and all that stuff.
I do too. And I think that they also don't, you know, you can hear where the songs change. They don't all sound the same.
No.
Production wise, you know, they're different, you know, and I wanted Alex to do the third record so bad. And we just, even though we paid for it, we didn't get a choice in who did it, you know? And I think to be honest, that just didn't sit well with me. And I had learned some things from Alex, you know, of course, and Hunter, you know, because our Hunter Wacko Raven's drummer. He was, our engineer on Oppressing, right? Which was amazing, right? Imagine having that guy in there to help you, it's crazy. And he just, he'd always said, no, we're going to fix sound right now. Your drums are going to sound this way right now. The guitars are going to be fixed right now. Don't ever let nobody tell you that they're going to fix it in a mix. That is
a no-no.
Strike number one. So the first thing Michael Rosen did, well, one of the first things when we were recording is like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll fix it in the mix. And it was like, no, he didn't just say that. Those horrible words just came out of his mouth.
I understand that whole fixing in the mix. You got to get it done right then and there, so the mix is a lot easier.
Yes, yeah. So, that was that from there, and just little things like that. I wanted tapes to go home with that he wouldn't give me, and I wanted to listen for clicks, stick noises, things like that, and just didn't happen. So being a little bit spoiled and a child inside, I threw a tantrum and whatever, and I should have made the best out of it, and instead I didn't.
But it's one of those, you can't change the past, but you could learn from it. Yeah, I mean, you look back and go, all right, man, it was a hard time, but you learn from it and bring it into today. Now, I do want to ask something that maybe most people don't know. You filled in for Tom Hunting in Exodus for a tour.
What?
You filled in for Tom Hunting with in Exodus. Now, was that during Oppressing the Masses era or after?
No, it was before Oppressing.
Really?
So we were it was probably maybe halfway done. And, Zetcho had called me on the phone and said, hey, all I knew was Tom was sick.
Yeah.
And of course, they're like, do you know the songs? And of course, the first thing that came out of my mouth was a complete lie. And I was like, yes, I know all your songs, no problem. And I did not. We all know them, right? I mean, you know them, you've heard them all, right?
Yeah.
But, playing them is a totally another thing. And nonetheless, they're like, okay, well, I need you to be here tomorrow in Texas so we can play, or we're going to get kicked off this tour with Anthrax and MTV and all that. And I'm like, oh man, I'm there. So I remember waking up early, me and Joe Houston, he had a couple records. We went to the record vault and bought a couple more. And back then you had that TDK 120-minute tape in your Walkman, right? So totally. I made a set list that was 2 hours long on that tape. It just repeated itself constantly. I didn't take the headphones off for like a day and a half on my way out there. And I just listened to that music, and I hoped it was going to work, and so I get there, they set up everything, and I walk in, and Gary's like, well, here's this part goes like this, and he's breaking down each part. I'm like, oh God, no, if we do this, it's going to take us a month. Yeah. And I'm like, no, I think I got it. And I just started clicking on songs, and we made it through a whole set, like boom, like right through like that. And these guys, were like, oh, fucking awesome. All right, we're done. Put their guitars down. And then we went across the street and got drunk.
Was this day of?
Day up. Oh, day up. Now, I thought that was all cool and everything because you're young,
Yeah.
Thought, oh, wow, this is the greatest, right? Until it's pitch black. And I'm coming up to the bottom of the stage on this little fucking lift, this hydraulic lift that brings me up to the back of the drum riser, right? And I pop up and I can see like, I don't know, it's like 8,000 or 9,000 people in the dark screaming, right? And I just come from like the violent stuff where we're playing the Stone. And, so it was like, it was an oh shit moment. Like, what did you do? You idiot. You did it now, man. You opened your mouth and you're going to pay for it. And
be careful what you wish for, Perry.
Well, I made it through it. It was amazing. And
I remember standing on the bass drums in front of all those people in the spotlight, and the lighters all lit up, and Zed announcing my name and everybody screaming. And that was my I have arrived moment. Like no matter what, if I die tomorrow, I lived my childhood dream. That was it.
And now, how many shows did you do with Exodus on that one?
I think like 30, maybe 26, 30, something like that. It was
Wow.
quite a bit.
Wow.
Luckily you're young, you have youth, so you can just go forever. And you know how they did it back in the day. I mean, it was a contest to see who could kill themselves first.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I got to go back to violence. One, I wanted to make my own record. I didn't want to be in someone else's band. Two, I didn't want to take Tom's spot because I didn't think Exodus was Exodus without Tom. All I wanted to do was just fill in for the band, because I thought that was an incredible honor, and it was a challenge. And he was one of those drummers, some people say it's Dave Lombardo, it's this, that, whatever. And they're all great drummers, but Tom's aggression and his style, the way he just flowed and played, I like to think that I play that way too, where it just has a flow. It's just like running water beating down a fucking cliff of rocks. There is nothing going to stop it. It's going to smash into everything. It's going to move the earth, and it's going to always keep going, and watching Tom play was just like, holy shit. His energy was insane, and his style and just the rolls and everything. I mean, I literally changed whole view on drumming watching him play.
He does have a unique style. I mean, I was fortunate enough to watch him on this last tour. Cancer survivor, he was killing it, and I'm like, whoa, that's a different the way he does things. Like, what is that? What I mean?
Yeah, so I do.
It's insane. And, having to watch not only Will play, I get to play with Will every night, but watching Tom Hunting and Dave Lombardo with Testament, it was just like,
right.
God damn.
Here
great
you are.
Here you are. Yeah, made it in a way. You know what I mean? But now
in the right way, in the only way that really matters.
Yeah.
If you were the young Ted, looking at Ted now would say,
yeah, I would. Yeah. But here's the thing. When you got done with the thing with Exodus, did that change your whole perspective going to violence and saying, dude, we got to do it this way. I've learned this much, and I've experienced this. How could we get to this level? Yada, yada, yada.
I wanted it to be that level for sure. We just weren't, so that was that. But I wanted to make our own record, because Eternal Nightmare and Oppressing the Masses, and even Nothing to Gain. Nothing to Gain, we started writing together a little more, and we were more conscious of what each other were doing, but Eternal Nightmare and Oppressing the Masses was like, you play drums, I'll play guitar, Sean will sing, and we'll just try to make that all work out. Cross your fingers and hope it does. And it did, because there were 5 egomaniacs in that band. There were 5 alphas in that band, always. And I think that was the only way it worked, is we just let everybody just did their own thing.
Yeah. But nothing to gain. Everyone had a say.
Nothing to Gain was the one where we went back to, the industry was taking a shit. We were all doing demos, and it was like being pre-approved for this and that, which was something we didn't want to do and weren't into. We're like, just let us write the record and it'll be fine, and they were just stalling us out, I guess, and then everybody got shelved and did whatever. And, everybody stopped playing for a while. Everybody did.
It was a weird time, because I remember Nothing to Gain. I liked the record, but then again, before I jump into this next chapter of After Nothing to Gain, there's a question that came in for you. This dude from Darren Diggle from Wales. Question for Perry: would you ever play a show with Rob Flynn again?
I don't have a problem with Rob. I never really did, and when I did, or whatever I felt, I said, you know, are Rob and I friends? Probably not in a friend capacity, but we're acquaintances. We're fine. I don't think we hate each other or anything like that. Am I going to pick him up and go to a barbecue? Probably not. But that's okay too, right? I mean, Rob's his own person, I'm my own person, and unless we share an interest, which it would be music, that would be the only interest we share. So, would I wouldn't be opposed to it. I would always be open to see what that has to offer.
You'll be open to it, and you never say never. You'll cross that bridge when you get there.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. Now, dude, after Nothing to Gain, you quit the band. The band continues with Mark Hernandez and whatnot. What did Perry Strickland do in that time from when you quit up until Thrash of the Titans?
Well, mainly, I was just done being in a band and putting the band first for nothing, and just every record was a struggle. Every record had to have a new label. It was so much work. And it was like, I think I'm ready to just go to work, make more money than I normally ever make, buy a house, put my kids through school, and go that route. And so that's what I did.
If you don't mind me asking, what did you do for a living?
Well, during that time, I was driving trucks and I was a mover. So I was moving people. And back then we were moving a lot of high-end people. We were moving all the CEOs from all the .coms in and out. We were moving the Raiders, the Sharks. We did a lot of high-end moves. And so we were making really good money. It was hard work, but we're making good money. And man, I loved money.
Oh, we all love money. But okay, you were doing that, being a family man and whatnot. Then all of a sudden, Thrash of the Titans came around. You guys get the call. I mean, what were your thoughts? Like, oh shit, are we doing this? Or is that something you were excited right off the bat, or something you had to think about? Or,
to be honest, I think right away you're like, ooh, okay, and we all knew that it was going to be this thing that was going to be viewed from around the world, right? And that was going to be cool. So I think we were all ready for that. We all wanted that. It was fun.
It's like opening up Pandora's box in a way, huh?
It was, yes. It was like, I compare it to like, you quit drinking, but you love drinking.
Oh.
And you quit drinking, and then all of a sudden you have that little bit of a sip and you start drinking again. Pretty soon, what you quit is now your continued new addiction. And, trying to balance it all, work, playing, family, we were all trying to do that a little bit.
Now, after that show, did you guys get the bug to go, let's do this again? Or where were you guys at? Because I'll tell you this, with Death Angel, it was supposed to be a one-off show. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's like, we'll do it for Chuck. If we're going to do anything Death Angel related, we'll do it for Chuck because of the whole situation. Then after that set, I could see that, with the look on Rob, Mark, Andy, and Den's eyes, like, let's do this again.
Yeah.
I
think it was the same for all of us. I think all of us were thinking, it's going to be just a one-off. And, how does that bug not crawl right up your ass and just start wiggling, man? Because you're just like, wow, you get that taste. And man, I listened to that show and I'm like, God, I mean, I played way too fast. I'm playing like 120 miles an hour.
Out of excitement. You're excited.
It was just one of those things. We hadn't played any shows in a long time. And I'm just, the adrenaline and everything just takes over. And you just become this silly monster.
The bug hit you. You're like, fuck, it's, time away from it was good. I bet when coming back to it, you're like, Cool. Now you guys got back. You guys did some stints of shows and whatnot. You were writing new material. I think one was a fuck piece was one of them.
And the
And,
dissection of Christ.
yeah. Then, of course, you got so far in, but Phil had to join Machine Head. So
Yeah.
and he had to do that. Were you kind of like bummed, like, hey, can you still do Machine Head and us? We could do this part time and blah blah blah. Or it was like, wasn't it? You know, you put a lot of work into the reunion.
Yeah, you know what? To be honest, I mean, those decisions were made. You know, I know Sean was getting deep into working, making good money, and you know, I was making pretty good money, and you know, Phil wanted to go that direction, and it was a great opportunity for him. And so I think we're just like, yeah, okay, well, here it is. You know, we were going to try and finish an EP or a record because we had 2 songs written. And, you know, once Phil joined Machine Head, that went out the window because, you know, Machine Head took all this time. You know, that's what they were doing. So that squashed that. And we bowed out and all went our separate ways.
All went your separate ways until the benefit for Sean.
Correct.
Killing it on command, because, you know, I mean, I'll tell you this from my point of view. When that came into, I guess we all had a meeting. I think it was Beth Reisner that called it and got together with Craig Lecister and all them. We're going to do this benefit for Sean. And it was a killer idea. And, you know, just looking at it on paper. But when it came to learning the songs, we were all in rehearsal one time. We go, God damn, these songs are insane to learn. I mean, we're a fan, you know, like, but having to sit down and learn them. I remember Tom Hunting had to play Torture Tactics. And he was like, what the fuck, man? I'm like, dude, these riffs are, it was a challenge, but it was fun to play, man, once we got it done. And I think that benefit show was great for everyone. It felt good. It, you know, hope Sean didn't get to sing because of his state during that time, but to see the 4 of you guys, Dean, Rob, Phil, and you rolled in the world. And correct me if I'm wrong, you didn't know Rob was going to play and sing that one, right?
No, I didn't even know Rob was there. I was like, well, who's singing? It's like, well, it might be Chuck. It might be Zet. And I was like, okay, you know, whatever. We didn't practice nothing. It was just learn the song and show up.
Wow.
And it's like, okay.
So the 4 of you just went up there, and that's the first time you guys played that song since like the late 80s, early 90s.
90s, wow. Yeah. And that was kind of scary.
But it was great, dude.
It was great, but, you know,
man.
It's pretty nerving, you know. It was pretty nerving all day, like holy shit, you know, because I was actually at Carnegie camping with all my friends that day before, all my motorcycle buddies, and which all came out. And we just drove out, and thank God for all my friends, because, you know, it kind of was a pleasant distraction to keep my nerves in check and whatnot. And it was what a night.
It was a great night, man. I mean, to the close, I mean, I played what songs did I play? I played I'd Prophet, Atrocity, Eternal Nightmare, Officer Nice, and Bodies on Bodies with different. Woo. Bodies on Bodies is the hardest song. I had to learn Atrocity because Ray bowed out the last minute. I had a night to learn it.
Yeah, he does that, but you know, it's another thing.
It's another thing. But that benefit show was a success, and a year later, you guys reformed and play, and you guys are going till this day.
You know, that was Sean. You know, I'd pretty much thought that it was just the one-off, you know, and that we were gonna, you know, and I was quite happy with that, you know, and all my motorcycle buddies and everybody I camp with and ride with, all my close friends were all there, and it was a great time. And so I guess Sean starts getting a little better because, you know, you remember how it looked, right?
Oh yeah, I told
he was
Sean.
Like a $110, you know, and you know, after like my mom passing, my brother passing, my father passing, my stepdad passing, you know, I'll be honest, and I've always apologized to Sean for it, you know, and I'm like, dude, I couldn't go see you in the hospital. You know, I just couldn't do it. I was like, my last vision of you is not going to be that.
Yeah. I
It's
get what
just
you're
not.
saying.
I can't do it. Selfish of me, but I couldn't do it. And so he got better real fast. And I guess he had talked with Phil a little bit. And the story I hear is that he asked Phil, "Hey, you want to? You want to do a show?" And Phil was like, "You mean go to the movies?" And he's like, "No, play a show." And and I guess they talked about it. And then I got the call next, and I was like, "Okay." And so I have a pretty nice house in Manteca, and we just set up I had an electric drum set, so in a PA. So everybody would come over, and we just started with like 2 or 3 songs, and then we'd hack through 4 or 5 more, and then hack through a couple more, and then slowly. It took a long time. I mean, especially for me. I mean, that hand speed and that stamina was very tough. It's probably taken me at least 3 or 4 years to where I am now. Just now, my biggest issues are mental. I have to. It's just remembering all the changes and setting them all up and everything. I have the physical part accomplished. And the playing and the speed and the hand speed and all that now. So I don't get blisters anymore, and now I just gotta tighten up the mental part of it.
Because you guys got a lot of goddamn changes in riffs, bro.
And they're all, Bill writes in 3s, and everything will be 4 4 4 4. Oh, magic 3. Here we go. Bing. You're like, oh.
But dude, I'd love to get to the new stuff because I can't wait to talk about it. And your show coming up tomorrow. Now you guys get back together. You do, of course, you do the classics. You got to run through like the first 3 albums and whatnot. Have a good time. And you played Europe for the first time, the Alcatraz Festival. How was that, dude? Because it's Vio-lence's first time out there, right?
It was a little rough. We did all right, but it was a little rough.
The crowd was. We played Alcatraz.
I mean, when you go out there and adults and people that you see are like crying. And you're signing autographs and they're crying to meet you, and you're just like, this is some really weird shit,
but
because everybody we hang out with are all friends, right? So if anything, you get a slap in the mouth, you sign an autograph. Nobody's overwhelmed emotionally.
Yeah. Well, different trip. I mean, Vio-lence. I mean, we've toured Europe many times, and I've seen a lot of Vio-lence shirts in the crowd, and people Vio-lence patches, and you guys, they've been waiting for a long time, and now you guys finally got out there for the Alcatraz Fest, and I know you guys would kick ass. I've talked to people; they said you guys crushed, and I bet you did. We played that festival. We know what that festival is about, and the crowd, amazing. Oh,
it's amazing. I just meant from the perspective of, that was probably the first time we played on a stage that big. And it's like, hey, Bill's way over there. And I put, we all have readers, because we're all in our 50s. It's like, I'm gonna put my reader on there. There he is. He's way over there. And
but the whole vibe, huh?
Right? It's fun. It's just
And you guys are and I'm going to get to this later too. You guys are going back out in November to Europe with Artillery and was it Corner?
No, I'm not sure. I know Artillery's on it. There've been some changes in that lineup, so I'm not exactly sure. I know Artillery's on it, and we're going to headline Headbangers Ball tour out there. We're going to go to Bloodstock and play Alcatraz again this year as well.
We're actually playing Alcatraz as well. We go on right after you.
Sweet. Same stage?
Same stage.
All right, so it's not right after.
Well, I mean,
isn't
you guys
it because
play
it's us,
and
it'll be another band and another
tent
or stage, and then you.
Yeah, we're playing
That's
the same
awesome.
stage, bro. I think it's the same day. Us, you guys, Exodus, Testament, Heathen, DRI, all on the same day. So amazing. It's gonna be amazing, dude. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah. So, dude, you guys start jamming the old stuff, doing quite a bit of shows. now it's time to write an EP. Now, playing the old stuff, you know it. It's been in your brain and your muscle memory. Was it a challenge writing new stuff?
The writing part?
Yeah.
Not so much. Phil and I, Phil didn't bring a lot of stuff already done to the table. His whole approach was, him and I would get together and we would just bang through stuff. And, God, it took me a long time. I mean, like him and I, he would show me a part, and literally there would be times when we would work for an hour on one fucking part, because I just, I would struggle to put everything together. It was one thing learning old stuff that had been in my wheelhouse for so long, but structuring and learning things and putting them together, especially with him, because he's such a veteran at it, and then I'm just remedial. I'm just like this beginner kindergartner, starting out again. And I was lucky that he had the patience to make it happen. And we spent a lot of time, and I was fortunate for that.
And it shows. I mean, Phil, great player, great dude, very patient. And, I bet it challenged you too. Like, okay, Phil's got some killer stuff. It made you step up your game as well. You know what I mean?
Always.
So I'm pretty sure Phil saw that and goes, let's do this. We could do it. You know what I mean? It took a while, but sometimes things take a while.
Yeah.
It's a while.
Well, they did with us.
Is that, the decision why you decided to do an EP instead of an LP? You just want to get your guys' feet wet again and just throw out a little bit of songs?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know the exact reason. I think, Phil is pretty much always right on point, with his direction. So, I think we wanted to do a record, but the reality is 5 songs were hard. We put everything we had into those 5 songs. And I think that it was a great decision to just do the EP, because it wasn't overwhelming. I mean, it was as we wrote it, because we took a long time to write it. But recording it wasn't so bad. By the time we got to that point, it was okay. I mean, I had to learn to play with a click track. I'd never done that.
Yeah.
That was a little bit of a struggle, but it came out really good, and I was very proud of it. And how lucky am I?
Dude, I'd like to say we're all lucky.
Yeah,
right. Jamming, you know what I mean? And we made it this far, and we still got more to go. And it's just,
oh yeah, it's awesome.
It is, isn't it? You just gotta when we did this, when we came back from tour, I mean, it was a long tour. It was like almost 7 weeks, but we just went out there just happy to be out, hanging out with people we know and playing the people who wanted to come see the show. We're just having a good time, man.
And you know what? There's something that you can see it. I think with a lot of bands that we all grew up with that are in our age group, the mature people, is that there is that, holy shit, I'm having the time of my life. Don't mess with my happy groove, bro. Don't do it. We don't got time for a bunch of bullshit or anger or just crummy people. It's about being with your bros, having the time of your life, and soaking up every good minute you can.
Dude, that's how we're rolling in. What made
you can see it. I can see you guys play. I mean, well, you got one of those guys. I mean, Mark is that guy for you.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark is just that guy. There is never been a time that I've hung out with Mark and just had an okay time.
You have a good time.
And Mark could probably tell you, there's some Perry and Mark times where we did some drinking and just have the time of our life, man. He's so fun to be around.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he is.
All of you guys are, but he takes it to another level, and you're like, is Mark going to be there? All right, I'm there. Let's go.
Well, unfortunately, he can't make it to the gig tomorrow, but I will be at the gig.
Cool.
So, and I'm looking forward to it. Now let's talk about your lineup. You got Christian from Fear Factory, and you got Bobby. You jammed with Bobby and Zet in the side project. Am I correct?
It was Bobby, myself, and Billy Milano.
Billy Milano. I thought Zet was in it for some reason.
No. Zet and I did another project called F-Bomb.
F-Bomb. That's it. That's what he was talking about.
But those were all local guys and our friends that we did that with. And that was a band kind of prior to the Chuck benefit.
Okay.
And it kind of helped Zetro and I get back into playing, you know, helped him because Paul was singing in Exodus at that point. And so it kind of got us into a band mode, writing some songs, having fun, and, you know, just got us playing again.
Just vibing out.
Yeah.
Vibing out. Now, dude, I know you had Ray, he left. Dean, the original guy, of course he left, and you got Christian and Bobby. And how is that dynamic? You know, because you jam with Dean all that time, but you know, member changes always changes some things, either for the good or for the better.
Bobby and Christian just showed up, and we clicked off a set, and it was just like they were there the whole time. You know, it was just really freaky, you know, and Christian is such an amazing player that he makes me sound great.
Yeah, Christian is a good player. I mean, I've known Christian dating back to 93, you know.
Right.
And we've had conversations, and you know, I remember I had a we were talking about that one time he auditioned for Machine Head, and he was telling me, dude, he wasn't freaking off the fact that he was auditioning for Machine Head. He was freaking off the fact that he was jamming with the two dudes in Vio-lence. You know, he is a big
Vio-lence fan.
He is, you know. Shout out to Christian if he's watching. I like that guy. Love him.
I love him. He's my bro. So like when usually, you know, right now I'm going through some things, but usually Bobby and Christian stay with me at my house. And, you know, Phil calls it Camp Perry because, you know, I got the patio, the pool, the hot tub. I got the game room. I got our studio on the side of the house. So everybody has their own room, their own TV. And, man, we just have a great time.
Camp Perry.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
It's a blast. You know, it's like being a 12-year-old grown up.
Wow. I mean, come on, pool, TV, and you know, chilling.
It's all the things you ever wanted when you thought you would be a rock star or whatever.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, I don't think that way, but I've achieved all those things at some point, and boy, do I enjoy them all.
Good
you know,
for you, dude.
I really do. So life is good, you know.
Good for you, man. So now that you got this lineup with Bobby, because of course Bobby does have a resume with Overkill, and
he does
some other bands. Christian, of course, with Fear Factory, and you know, doing stuff with Cypress Hill and whatnot. You guys hit the road. You guys just recently did a West Coast run with Exciter. What's up, Daniel Decay? Exciter, dude. Corner was on the show.
Yes,
was it right? Dude, how were those shows? I mean, how was that run? I mean, I want to hear all about it, and I'm sure people want to hear about it.
I think for us, a good wake-up call for us, you know, you're in your 50s, and now you're playing every day, and you're traveling, and you get that slap in the mouth, and trying to manage sleeping and resting and traveling, and, you know, Sean came home a little ill.
Okay.
You know, and trying to get better. He was okay today. Good. And he'll be even better tomorrow and ready for it. Learning to take care of yourself in ways that you would casually not think about. You know, like we're not big on masks, but you know what? I could see where there would be times backstage where, you know what, might just want to wear one. Gotcha. For the sake of argument, just be not not because of anything political or anything like that. Just so, you're around other people. You don't know if they're sick or not. Some people in coroner didn't feel good and were sick, and Sean got sick,
Yeah.
And so from that perspective, you definitely have to, you did all them dates in a row. You really have to be proactive.
Yeah.
With your health.
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
You can't be our age and go down.
No.
You're losing money. You're it's just not good.
I mean, you're losing money, you're disappointing yourself, you're disappointing your bandmates and the fans. Yeah.
Bought tickets.
So yeah, you got to be on top of your game, just like us. All of us try to stay healthy on the road. There's no crazy partying or whatnot. If there is, it's usually on the bus, people having a few beers and listening to music.
Right. I have my friends who asked me that, like, what's that like? I said, well, before it might have been cocaine and tons of alcohol, and right now it's maybe a drink. It's drinking some water. It's making sure you're dried off and have changed sweaty, wet clothes, and maybe pop a Motrin or two, stretch a little bit, and then do an equipment check and make sure that you didn't leave all your shit behind.
Exactly, dude.
All with you.
Dude, it's funny because I do say this to some people. It's like, what's like on tour? Well, when you get to the venue, usually here's what people ask. I've noticed. Where's the bathroom? Where's catering? And what's the Wi-Fi password?
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I mean?
And then with us, you'll see 5 old dudes with their readers out. You know,
on their phones, checking their emails, like
checking stuff out.
Stuff out, like, okay, where's the closest restaurant here? That's
it. Yeah, I have this 4 Squares app, right, that goes anywhere, and I use that religiously. It's like, all right, dinner, all right, 2 blocks away.
Exactly, dude. But the shows were good, right? The shows were amazing.
They were amazing, man. We sold out, I think, just about everywhere we went, except for a couple. And those are Wednesdays and Tuesdays, and still did really good. I mean, I was happy.
Fans came out in droves. I saw photos and some videos. Man, it looks.
It was a lot of fun.
It's like it's an exciting time for you guys right now.
It is, and I'm real fortunate that that I have the 2 new guys in the band, but I feel really blessed that somehow the 3 of us, Sean, Phil, and I, were able to put it together.
Yeah.
You cannot have that long of a relationship. There are things like everything is, there's no hiding anything. You can't with your brothers like that. No. Because we all know each other really, really good, and I can't even say nothing. Phil be like, bullshit. He'll tell me no excuses, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, all right. You're right.
But you guys are older now. You've been through what you've been through personally and in the band. You know what I mean? So you guys do appreciate each other. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just how I feel with Death Angels lineup, long-standing lineup, like 12 years. I mean, at first we still get on each other's nerves, but you learn how to maneuver. You know what I mean?
Well, you learn to give each other space.
Exactly.
Exactly. And that's big,
You need that space. You need that space.
You have to respect it. And if you do, you'll be all right.
Yeah. Then,
and I think when you get older, you also have that. You also know that the door is always right there.
Yeah.
So the minute you don't feel like being there, leave.
Yeah. That's how we look at it. Like, what? Here's how I look at things. I look at things from different perspectives, Perry. Like sometimes when you're on a tour bus and you're crammed together and like there's nowhere to room, but I look at it as, well, it's better than a van.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you it could be taken away at any time. So I mean, all of us appreciate being out there. Like,
right. Like, see, we don't do that. We don't do buses. We do a van, but we each have our, it's either get a bus and no hotel rooms, or get a van and have our own hotel rooms. We choose to have a van and our own hotel rooms.
Nothing wrong with that. Everyone has their own trip. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for the most part. And, you get your me time. You get left alone. You do what you want. Leave the TV on. You can, whatever the hell you want to do, and you don't bother anybody.
Having your own room is, oh, dude, that's the best. I'll tell you stories. We've shared rooms and like, oh, dude, I get it. You save the budget and whatnot, but
yeah. I mean, we don't get me wrong. There's times when we do share rooms, and that's okay too.
I'm done with it. Because you do need that me time, dude. You do that. Even that like 5 hours of just you being by yourself really helps. You know what I mean?
It does.
You just like, you get in the room, like, especially, I'm not going to say any names, but after you get into an argument with someone and, you're sharing a room with them. You're like, fuck.
Well, we make sure we don't do that. If two people are butting heads, they do not share a room.
Well, I ended up sharing a room with someone I butted heads. You're like, oh, God, really? And you just feel uncomfortable. Now it's like, nah, dude, if I don't get my own room, I'll pay for my own room. I don't care.
Right.
The me time is more important. You know what I mean? Like one of our techs, Reed Rayleigh, said to me, whatever you spend here, you gain up here. So
sometimes,
well, a lot of times for me.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
I did that. I mean, one night Bobby and I shared a room, and I just like, what? I need to get some rest. I just went downstairs, bought my own room, and still that's $250 for the night, but slept really good.
There you go. There you go.
Was it worth $250? I don't know, but I did it. It wasn't bad.
Good point. Yeah, there's some
times
where
he got his own room and I got my own room. It just was at my expense.
Yeah, but I bet it felt good to have your own room.
It's like a vacation, right? It's always worth the money until it's over.
Then you realize, damn,
you're like, damn, $250. Well,
but hey, man, I'll spend for the convenience, bro.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
I'll spend for the convenience. It doesn't bother me because
right.
I'd rather have my mental state. By the way, Scott Dockendorf from Texas. My question to Perry is, what practice tips would you have for a rock drummer working to build his or her chops for thrash? Thanks for the question, Scott.
Yeah. I don't know. I do a lot of paradiddles. I sit down more. I used to never practice. I never practiced when I was in Vio-lence by myself. I did when I was young. I did when I was in high school and played in jazz bands and all that stuff. But when I got into the band, I don't think I really practiced that much. I just didn't like it. I don't know what to say.
You only practice when you get to rehearsal with the guys. All right, what riffs, what songs, let's do this, blah, blah, blah.
And you do that, right? And you do that. I mean, back in the day, we used to practice 5 days a week. You never didn't like not practice. So I'll say that, it's not like we didn't played all the time. And drummers are a little different, right? It's not like picking up a guitar. I have to have a time and the allotment to make that noise, especially back then. There weren't electric drum sets.
Yeah.
Or there were, but they were ungodly amounts of money. And, not everybody wanted to listen to me play drums in the house, so.
And plus you had to take the trek to go to your studio, there and play, then you're done, then take the trek going home. So like you said, it's not a guitar player. I can pick up a guitar right here.
Yeah.
And just jam. You go, go to my studio.
It's a little different, now I sit, let's see if I can, it doesn't. So let's see. Can you see that?
I can see a drum stool.
Can you see the practice pads?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the TV is right there. Right. So I sit there and I'll watch TV and I'll just practice for an hour or so watching a show, and I do that now. And then I just practice different speeds. And as far as Scott, I'm on YouTube and all kinds of stuff, watching all kinds of different drummers. And is there any one thing? I don't think so. There's a lot of everything. You know, people ask, what's your favorite drummer? I don't have a favorite drummer because there are so many great drummers that it's impossible to have a favorite. You know, when we talk about Tom, you asked me who was the most influential. You know, that's different. You know, Tom was probably the most him and Neil Peart, you know, were probably the most inspirational drummers to me. And that's that. You know, all I can say is go on YouTube, find some things that interest you and learn them. You know, whatever that is, and then adapt it to whatever your skill set is. Break them down slow, speed them up. You have to kind of figure that out on your own. You know, I don't have any one set. You know, I'm a mental case a lot of times with ADHD. You know, it's very hard for me to sit down. You know, I like riding my motorcycles. I like driving 140 fucking miles an hour in my vet. I like going fast.
Hence, violence beats are fast.
Yeah. I'm just saying, you know, I live that way. You know, I do that with a lot of stuff. So lately, there are so many great death metal drummers and all this stuff out there that they come out with this stuff that's like 300 beats per minute. You know, it's like, okay, you know, I thought I was fast at 210 or 240, and it's like 300. I mean, what's he drinking?
Dude,
you know?
It's a different era now. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a very different era. And, you know, it's weird. I mean, you got these godly musicians who are freaks. It's just like, Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a different time, which I'm going to speak about a different time. You got a couple of crazy musicians playing with you guys tomorrow in Oakland, Ex Mortis.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of the Oakland show, tell us about it. You guys, I mean, is there going to be any surprises in the set? I mean, it's Vio-lence's first round since what? Fucking a long time.
2019.
Yeah. And
so
I'm excited. I'm excited.
I think we got a pretty good set. It's about hour and 20 minutes, hour and 25 maybe. We seem to physically make it through no problem. So there's a lot of energy. I don't think there'll be a problem with that. Crossing our fingers, hope it doesn't rain tomorrow. And
you can check the weather. Is it going to rain tomorrow? I doubt it's going to rain tomorrow.
If it does, it'll probably rain early in the morning. So I don't think it's going to rain during the day or nothing like that.
No. I'm looking at the weather thing right now. No, I don't think so. It's probably going to be a drizzle. We can handle drizzle.
Yeah, no problem.
Let me ask you something. Is Mentally Afflicted on the set list? You could just come on, bro.
It is.
That's my jam, dude. That's my jam. Song. I love it too.
So, yeah.
Tomorrow in Oakland, Vio-lence for all you Bay Area people who are watching. It's outdoor, Oakland Metro, right? It's where Exodus.
It's close to that. I'm not sure. I don't think it's actually the Metro. It's the same guy, but it's the same place I believe Exodus just played.
Yeah. So all you Bay Area people, you got to check out Vio-lence. New and improved Vio-lence with Ex Mortis and the Reformed Defiance. I see.
Yes, my buddy Jim.
Yeah,
and Mike and Steve.
Yeah, so that's going to be a good show. And also, you guys, new EP, "Let the World Burn," which my favorite song off that one is "Screaming Always," dude.
Really?
Yeah. I love that one. It's fucking. I mean, the EP is great, but that one sticks out for me.
I love you know, God, I like them all.
Of course you got.
No, man, there's always some that you know, you're always like, yeah, you know, it's okay. You know, but I really do like them all. I mean, they all have something else. I mean, even Upon the Cross, you know, which is probably the slowest song we've ever played ever in our entire lives.
But it's heavy.
But I remember like Phil and I playing it like, and he just like, fuck, I don't know if that's a Vio-lence song, you know. He's like, I was like, well, can we finish it? Can you and I just finish this and let's let Sean wax poetic on it and see what he comes up with, right? And it's one of those ones that we all dig. You know, it's like one of those, and it's probably because it was a creeper. You know, it just kind of
Yeah.
creepy. You know, it's like when you when you watch Up in Smoke, right? And he's at the Battle of the Bands, and he comes like, these kids are into something heavy. Like, you know, that's Upon the Cross. You know, it's like, you just like, oh, so good.
Dude, I love those type of songs. Like, of course, like Mentally Afflicted. It's not all fast. It's just, you know, that groove and grinding. Like on this last tour, Exodus. Yeah, of course they played all their fast stuff, but when they played Prescribing Horror in their set, it's the slow. I was like, yes. Then it just breaks it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not everything could be fast.
Well, it can be, but you know.
Yeah. You know.
Fun is that? Have some dynamics.
You know? You got to have dynamics. You got to give it to the then you just want to.
And we use that word loosely in Vio-lence, you know.
Dynamic. Well, you guys have some dynamic stuff in your songs, man.
Sure.
You know, I mean, like I love Mentally Afflicted and Liquid Courage because of that, especially Liquid Courage. That beginning riff makes you want to beat someone up. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like, is that on the set tomorrow too, dude?
No.
As long as Mentally Afflicted is on there, I could deal with not having Liquid.
Well, you know, we can't play them all.
Yes, that's true. But you're gonna play quite a few. You can play quite a few from the EP. I'm sure you're gonna play one or two from Nothing to Gain. None. You know, I'm gonna have a sign tomorrow in Oakland with one of the songs from Nothing to Gain, either Atrocity or 12.
You never know. You know, you never know what you're gonna get.
But dude, I'm looking forward
to let it all out of the bag, you know. But
looking forward to the set tomorrow. It's been a while since I've seen Vio-lence. I got to get my Vio-lence fix in, and it's gonna be great to see. You know, I haven't seen Christian or Bobby play in Vio-lence because the last time I saw Vio-lence was Dean and Ray.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this, and of course, Ex Mortis is playing Defiance in Oakland at the Oakland Metro Outdoors. If some of you Bay Area people are in town, it's the same place. Exodus, Exhumed, and the Boneless Ones played back in March, so everyone should go see Vio-lence.
Yes,
and pick up the.
Just come on out and have a good time. Support the scene. You know, come on out, have a beer.
I'm doing it.
Chill out.
Yeah, quite a few of us are doing it. I know Mark can't make it. He's MIA right now after the tour. He ventured off and did his own thing.
As soon as we're done, I'm calling him right now. So, where are you?
Yeah, you should. Or text him. Hey, Mark, you gonna be?
I always send him crazy, stupid stuff. You know, he's always laughing.
Yeah, Mark's a cool dude. But Perry, before I end the stream, I always ask my guests. I have a dirty dozen, 12 questions. I'm gonna fire away, and you're gonna answer them. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Mild or spicy?
Spicy.
All right. Dogs or cats?
Cats.
All right. A movie you could watch over and over again.
Escape from New York.
Love that movie. All right. Your biggest pet peeve?
Bad breath.
I could agree with that. Okay. What time does your alarm clock go off each morning?
Whenever I want it to.
That's an answer I haven't heard, and it's a unique one. A song you love to sing when you're all alone.
I don't know. I don't sing songs. I'm always playing drums or something, you know, like.
But I'm sure you're singing along when you're playing drums. You know,
in
violent
your head,
song.
Yeah. Singing, you know. So, God, I don't know. That you stumped me on that one.
All right. Dream vacation.
I want to do a Viking cruise and go and see all the castles, you know, and probably do Rome and you know, Italy and you know, like a 20-day excursion, and just your dream vacation would be that.
There you go. That's
you know, awesome. Just take it all in, get the history, the whole shebang.
All right. One thing about you that probably annoys others. I'm sure there's quite a few.
I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are. But you're asking me to think what that. I would just say probably my energy.
Yeah. You know. I'll pause here. You have a positive energy, but back in the day, you were a pretty mean man, Perry.
I've been told that. You know,
yeah. I personally didn't want to say hi to you back in the day.
It was I grew up in a dog eat dog environment, man. You know, if you wanted something and you wanted to be somebody and you wanted to be heard, you better carry a big stick.
I know. I mean, I was cool with Sean and Phil, but you know, I didn't say hi to you then. I was like, that dude looks. I'll admit, and I told Phil, yeah, you dick back then, bro. I'm gonna stay away. But you're a nice guy now.
There was a point where I just, you know, I wasn't going to take any shit from anybody, no matter what. So you better come correct, or I'm going to let you know.
Good for you. All right. What's your favorite?
Life is much better. So.
What's your favorite smell?
Oh, Mexican food.
Okay. An instrument you wish you could play?
The piano.
Okay. Oh, on a scale of 1 to 5, how good of a dancer are you, Perry?
0. A -4.
All right. I have one more question and a bonus question. What did you have for breakfast today?
Let's see. Had a poached egg.
Okay.
Over a croissant with ham and cheese.
Awesome. Here's a bonus question here. Your favorite Vio-lence record?
It would be the EP.
The EP? Are you saying that because it's new?
No, I'm saying it because I think it's a mature collaboration of Phil, Sean, and I at the best we've been to this date.
Like and where you are, like
all of that experience now. It's all of that life's experience, all put into those songs, you know. And there's, you know, I mean, like, there's just nothing that really, you know, Sean is such an amazing lyricist, and like, he's a freak. He just his phrasing and his cadence and the way he does things is just like no other.
Exactly.
And there's just nobody touches him. He is his own thing, you know. And I think after, you know, almost dying, and his hunger for life, and getting to be a part of that, right? And sharing that with Sean, Phil, and I, and putting that together, and it was special, you know. Like, it's a special moment. I dig it.
I could see that, you know, how, I mean, what you guys been through together and coming together again. Okay, let's write some shit, and knowing each other is like, you guys know what buttons to push, what buttons not to push.
Oh, we do.
And you know what Phil's gone through, you know what Sean's gone through, they know what you've gone through, and having to that brotherhood of, you know, being patient with each other and let's get this music out. I could see that, man. I could totally see that. You know, that is awesome.
It was hard, and it was, for me, it was hard. I mean, it was incredibly challenging, and just every aspect was learning and learning and learning and learning and learning. And then when I was done, I was more learning, you know, and it was pretty awesome, you know, and I can't wait to learn more, you know.
There you have it, everyone. Perry Strickland from Vio-lence. Perry, thanks for joining in to the stream. And, you know, I'm going to see you tomorrow in person. I'm going to give you a big hug.
Of course you are, because I'm not that mean anymore. Don't you ever forget it.
No, you're not that mean no more. Man. Yeah, we're bros. We're going to see everyone show up to Vio-lence tomorrow if you're in the Bay Area. If not, pick up Let the World Burn. They got some touring coming up. They're going to be at Bloodstock if anyone's watching in the UK.
And
Alcatraz, all the people who watch from Belgium will be there with them along with others. And
yeah, because their homeboys coming back. Christian will be home.
Yeah, that's right.
The Belgium,
born in Holland, I believe, or it's the other way around. One of the two.
Right, and we'd have to ask him on the spot.
Yeah, and you guys are doing the Headbangers Ball in Europe. Is it November, headlining? We've done a tour with them before. Great tour. You guys
can't wait.
It's gonna be fun. So everyone, show some support for not only Perry Strickland, the nice guy now, but Vio-lence, Phil, Sean, Christian, and Bobby. And again, pick up Let the World Burn. Awesome. And blast it all and put always screaming always. On
Yeah.
repeat. There, put that on repeat. You'll like that one. Perry, thanks a lot for joining.
Hey,
Really
thanks for
appreciate
having me, man. I can't wait, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Stick around while I close shop. All right, everyone. Bye bye.